Reverend Crystal Cox Ramble here. I believe in the power of the living God. Do you believe in the power of the living God? What is this power of the living God you speak of? Well, it is creating reality from a place of high consciousness now. Being in the now. It's funny how lights do that with me. I think it's my forehead. So, the power of the living now. Yeah. So it's about expressing who you are in this now moment, knowing who you are in this now moment, being at peace in this now moment. But first of all, to do all that and to invoke the power of the living God, which is your creator God, which is creating your reality in this constant now, you have to first let yourself be in the now. How do you let yourself be in the now? You don't be worried about the past and you don't pushing yourself to the future, okay? We're going to talk a lot about that. I teach a lot about being in the now, and I have lots of writings and notes and stuff on that because that's the number one thing to know, okay? The power of the living God is in the now. So, I invoke the power of the living God. I invoke the power of the living God, and I bring in enormous amounts of love and light, unconditional love and healing. Spirit, I ask that you assist us during this time, well, all the time, but to just clear the heavy energy every day so that we can see who we really are through the fog and the heaviness. And oh my God, right? Let's see. Well, maybe I'll do that. Okay, now I'm going to read you some stuff. Okay, stop trying to keep your old self. So stop trying to keep your older self in some sort of safety deposit box in your subconscious in case you need it, okay? It's not coming back. Old Earth is not coming back. Walk around your town, walk around your yard, walk around your house, shake your head like this. It's not coming back. We have shifted into a new world. And, go downtown, go anywhere, look around. Things have changed. People and businesses are gone. New businesses are there. Oh, well, that just happened because, people got money during this last time and they yeah, okay. But some things are pretty dramatically different. Look around your world and see what's different. All right. Focus on the vibration. Act as if in this moment there's no time or space and simply act upon the vibration of things. Okay, so that's about feeling into the moment. Okay? And these are just some random thoughts in these notes here. But feeling into the moment is being into the now and feeling the vibration of the moment and trusting that. And if something feels off or weird, that it is. And I know that if you're anything like me, that sometimes I couldn't necessarily trust that in myself because I didn't know whether it was anxiety or I was feeling off or if I could trust that, well, this just isn't the right path to go. But I still felt like I really wanted to do it, so I would do it. And then there would be the lesson or there would be, whatever. So you just have to keep practicing it more and more and more to be in the now and feeling things from that now moment. Okay, so look at this. How did that get out of the video? And now it's in front of my face. And now there's something under it. And now there's something over it. And now there's something around it. Shut up, Crystal. Oh my God. There's a whole stack of tarot cards there. That's funny. Okay. Okay. You got everything situated now? Maybe. I'm going to switch this out. Well, not today. Okay. So, they took away our heritage. Thousands of years of herbal healing, energy healing, faith healing. They took it away from us by force. Okay? These things live in our energy field. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Normalizing miracles, because miracles are everywhere. And we do have the healing, the ability to heal others. But we don't necessarily have the ability to change other people's belief. Okay? So I do energy healing. I help people to unwind it by saying, okay, well, what must you believe to be feeling this way. Try to get them to identify the belief. And sometimes that evaporates a lot of it just by identifying it, because they're like, but I don't believe that way. And I'm like, but you kind of have to believe that in order to be feeling that. And they're like, oh. And then it kind of fades away more and more to identify the belief. But it's up to you to change your belief on things. And you do that through learning about new things. I see. It's so funny. I have this thing about wanting, I don't know why these things are not in my picture, and I want them in my picture. See, like, this is so funny. I'm moving in the crystal ball. It's like a crystal ball sneaking up on you. Too funny. Okay, so normalizing miracles. Okay, I've said the sun is not an alternate timeline. So this kind of came to me the other day of like, so you know, with the Mandela effect or whatever, you're moving around timelines. Okay, so you can understand songs or labels. You can understand different things that if someone was in a different timeline, they might have chose something different. Maybe they had something different for breakfast, or they had a different named girlfriend or boyfriend, or something was different in their reality. So that changed what they invented, you know, what they said, what timeline, what the name of the song was, or whatever, might have done that. Because these are things that they're not necessarily outside the person, but they're projected from, say, first person. Okay, something like the sun, and even moving thousands of years in the light in the galaxy, moving from the Sagittarius arm to the Orion arm, and the sun being yellow and now the sun being white, these are total worlds. So these are like big levels. So say like each level that you're moving and you don't kind of notice, then they're big ones. And you go, I'm in a completely different world. How did I get into a world where there's a white sun? Right? Like, what? And the You Are Here maps, we were on the Sagittarius arm. How did I get into reality where I'm thousands of light years away from the reality that I grew up in? And I have a photographic memory, and I know this. I don't doubt it. I'm not fucking crazy. I moved realities. I moved worlds in my same consciousness. And I still got, you know, the same scars, and, you know, it's really trippy. But the sun is not necessarily an alternate timeline, but it's a whole new version of world, a whole new matrix, let's say. Okay. And, you know, leaves, like miracles. How does a leaf know to be what it is? And some leaves are so beautiful, and they got white, they got all these colors. They're amazing, right? Babies are fucking amazing. How do they know how to grow? Seeds. How do seeds grow to beautiful trees or plants, or, you know, and humans and animals? That is miraculous. We are living in what should be deemed supernatural miracles every day. Right? And there's so much beauty, and now there's new plants, there's new animals, there's, you know, our organs have changed. So much is different, and to just look at it, it feels creepy and surreal at first, because it's like, well, I don't matter, because, like, you know, the whole I don't matter thing, like, I'm just in the matrix and I'm just the puppet of some. What does it matter? Well, our consciousness is what matters, and we're adding more and more to that as we move to different realities. Okay, and so our human body would end up kind of sloughing away and going back to Mother Earth anyway. We take our consciousness with us, and from that consciousness, we can project a version of us that we want once we get through this Earth school. Okay, well, there you go. And we'll do a whole video on why bother and why I don't matter, but not for today. Oh, and I've talked to some of you about this before, or talked on video, but I remain to be fascinated by the camera angle of my memories. So I will think of something or some event I did in the past, and I'll be like, oh yeah, and then I'll be like, what? You know, like, there's this really cool bar that burned down on Friday Harbor, and I was there a few years back, and I was just thinking the other day about how neat it was. I was thinking about sitting on the couch there. I had this perfect order of fries. I had a perfect beer and tomato juice. I was talking to my perfect, beautiful friend on my laptop, and I was just this perfect moment. And I was thinking of it, and I saw myself, right? So my camera angle is I walk into the bar, I see myself way at the other end on the couch. There's a coffee table, and I'm eating my fries and have my beer. That's the camera angle. How the fuck did I get that camera angle? So your energy field creates camera angles all over. I seen an episode of Black Mirror that was kind of like that once, and it's like it's recording everything, right? And it's so interesting. I'll think of some things and I'll see it through my eyes. Other things I'll see from the left side. Some things I'll see from the right. Outside of my body, I'll see an angle. There's no way I could have known what it looked like from that angle. I mean, I could have imagined it, right? But I'm actually recalling a memory from a camera angle that's outside of my body. And that fascinates me. Tons more on that another time. It's fascinating. Our consciousness is seeing things and recording them all the time. Okay. So hurting us around, controlling us, keeping us impoverished, those days are over, okay? It seems like we'll win, but there's so much happening. It really is happening. The dark has been conquered, but it's going to put up a fight all the way to its death. And the more the death of the dark is the saturation of the light. So yeah, it's still going. We keep going. More and more light is making them dissipate, because they're not going to just be like, oh, you're right. They're the dark. The light has to consume them, and we get nearer and nearer and nearer to that every second of every day. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to find right now what it is that I want to read to you. Have you guys read One Truth, One Law, I Am, I Create by Aaron Worley, Werley? So I Am, it's really good. And I was thinking the other day about one-of-a-kind fingerprints, right? They say our fingerprints are one of a kind. And then I was translating that because I took pictures of the sun, and I got these hexagons that were like the orbs. I used to get a lot of orb photos, and the orbs had all these patterns in them, almost like a fingerprint. And I was thinking, what if our fingerprint is the same when we're in spirit, and that's an orb, or the octagon is now these new orbs or octagons, and it's so fascinating to me. So let's see. Okay, and it's so funny when people are like, well, the truth, when you're trying to figure out what the truth is, you factor in, let's see, well, first of all, who's the messenger and what's their motive? What? 1 and 1 is 2 based on who says it? No, the truth is not about the messenger. And that is one of the huge misnomers, darkness, just demonic energy that drags society down in every aspect. Things that I've done with my life, things, in investigative blogging and, churches, real estate, whatever. People are like, well, is it true? You feel it in your body. You feel it, your own heart, your own intuition to what's true for you, okay? What's true and what's not true is not based on the messenger. And that's the mass psychosis they want you to believe. And then things that we won't talk about on this one, but I am going to be posting more and more on Rumble. And that will be a different camera angle, because I'll have a different camera. You're so funny, Crystal. You're so funny. I know, right? So society is barbaric. It is low frequency. It is fucked up if they have people sleeping and freezing on the ground. Okay? No town, no community. You can, what's that? Not dispense. You can disassociate as much as you want, okay? But if you think it's okay that there's people laying around your community, sleeping outside, freezing to death, that's barbaric. It's abusive, and it is not a civilized society in any way. There's nothing more important than everybody living indoors. There's nothing more important than everybody having access to warmth, to free energy, to clean water and clean air. Come on, this is basic logic, right? And it's a barbaric, dark, demonic world that doesn't accept that. And the light's bursting through that shit, I'll tell you. Yeah. Okay, so sometimes I feel left behind, okay? People say a lot of so much is happening so fast, and it's just gone, and we're living both realities at once, but you feel like, oh my gosh, like you missed the bus. Or like that feeling that I've had when I'm like, on my way to Ireland, and I have a 6 hour layover, and I'm everybody's boarding and it's about to leave, and I'm on the opposite end of the, these terminals that are the size of towns. That feeling of like, like, you know, you missed it, and it's just going to keep going, except for it's way more intense than that. Okay, that later. There's something I wanted to share with you. Okay, connecting with your ancestors, um, and Father, Mother, God. I mean, people that also, it's a messed up thing about society to view God as a male or a female, right? God, goddess, in a way. I like to say both, but spirit is etheric and could be whatever gender association that they project. That's what I was going to say earlier too. All these things that we collect, all the energy, all the spices, the things that we like that we collect. When we move on in consciousness, we can project a version of us that we want, a hologram, like an avatar of whatever we like the best. We can bring in, oh, I liked this kind of ears, I like this kind of nose, almost like we're like a Mr. Potato Head. Oh, very funny, Mr. Potato Head. But we can create, we can take the things that we liked from all the different places, like a certain couch, a certain cabin, a certain lake, a certain canoe, certain people, and put them in the same reality that we create and we project based on things that we know we like. And we found the things we liked by experiencing a lot of things we didn't like, and a lot of things we liked, including things we like about our looks or our strength or how our body is. We can project that version of us as we get more and more towards our Creator God consciousness powers. All right, so cosmic telepath. Taking memories and storing the memories. Oh, and gosh, it was decades ago now, but Spirit told me that, or I seen it in a movie. Who knows? But it was a thing for a couple decades for me. It was like, you have succeeded in life once you have died while you're alive. And when I was young, that meant some, but now it's like, I have died, but I'm still alive. I have lost everything down to $0 and nearly freezing to death in a car. I have let go and moved from any family, any friends, any life I ever knew. And my hand, like the lifeline of my hand is like that way. It goes like this, and then it jumps completely over and goes a whole other thing. I have died to everything I ever knew to be my life, and lost and let go of and moved on from everything I ever knew to be my life. So I died while I was alive, and I lived. And then, I'm going to talk a lot about street preacher stories. Like, I made myself available to answer prayers, and I would just happen on people, and I'd know what they needed, and I would help them to the next place they're going. Just walk up to somebody and know what they need. And it would be something small quite often, but monumentous, life-saving for them, because it was that moment of transition, like whether they needed a bus ticket back home, something bad didn't happen, or gas money because they got themselves into something really sticky and they needed out. And Spirit would lead me to these people. And then I just come across people like this one guy in this beach in Kauai, he just come down. He sat cross-legged in front of me, and he knew that I needed to tell him stuff, and I just told him a whole bunch of stuff about his business and his life, and just and that's what I considered being a street preacher, of just wandering around and letting Spirit bring me people and being available to answer prayers. And raising my frequency and working on my own self to remove triggers and programs and be the best version of me that I could possibly be, while at the same time being available to answer prayers of other people. And like I said, the things seemed small, but they were huge, right? They were huge. They were tiny things, but they made huge, huge changes in people's lives. Yeah, so that supernatural quests. Anyway, so I'm gonna look at this stuff and kind of refine it different later. But what do you do when you sit in between? beating up with regret. I had already talked about that in the last video, was ebb and flow of spirit. It was about timelines collapsing, and I'm going to write it out. So maybe I just won't just read you the rough draft, but I keep not getting to it, and so it's just it's so important. Bothers me that they choose to poison themselves. Okay, right. Letting people do what they do and kind of just letting go. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at this different another day. And then ascension, basics, Mandela effect stuff. Spirit channelings, I already did that. Okay. All right. So. And then I'm doing these 50 codes words sewed, and I kind of did an audio here on the same YouTube channel. And they're poems that are coded with healing information that ripple through your body and your biofield. I might read these today. I'm not sure. I read them the other day in audio, but it's a little different when Spirit brings them through in person. But anyway, so I invoke the power of the living God. I ask that all of us that it applies to, and myself and all that I can reach in my vibration, that I be filled with unconditional love and with light, and that I anxiety, depression, grief be neutralized forever. Regret, worry, programs of poverty, programs of just fear and wanting something and not knowing what it is and feeling insatiable because I can't have it or don't have it, but I can't. There's so many light workers going through this feeling, and I ask that that all those going through this feeling be blessed, and that their energy be raised and they be filled with the love and the light of the Holy Spirit. I invoke the power of the living God. I invoke all available angels and archangels. And I raise my frequency right now, and I raise the frequency of all within the sound of my voice, my vibration, my energy field. I invoke the power of the living God, and I know I will be happy. I invoke the program and the power of happiness and joy and peace of mind. I enjoy. What was that? I invoke the power of joy. I invoke joy in my life now, now, now. And so it is. It is done. All right. So I'm going to read you some other stuff later. Okay. I love you, and I ask a blessing on every one of you. And I invoke the power of the living God in your life right now. Amen. Bye for now.